Welcome back to the Extra Point. We are here with John Gary. John is a good fan of the Extra Point and a lifelong Carolina Panther fan. How you doing, John?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about y'all?
Doing phenomenal.
Doing good,
Fantastic.
doing good.
All right, so he wants to talk about Carolina Panthers and the offseason moves that they have done right now. So, John, what is your take on the offseason of the Carolina Panthers?
Well, it's like I was saying a little before the show. I think there's a lot of overreacting going on among the fans. I think everyone is very negative, and I think most of that is honestly emotional because Cam and Luke and Olsen all being gone and one off season. It is pretty rough as far as that goes. But I don't think it's necessarily bad for the team. Luke being gone, obviously, that's terrible, but
Yeah.
nothing could have prevented that. But I don't think it's necessarily bad for the team. Moving on from Cam, moving on from Olsen, he was beat up too. Wasn't really playing in all the games. He was still productive, but still. And I feel you think that what's happened is pretty negative. So
Well, so I wouldn't say it's negative. The Olsen, you did that perfectly. I don't think Olsen was like really a key part in the offense anymore. I don't feel good with Ian Thomas being the next guy.
no, I do not either.
But Greg Olsen, that wasn't a big hit to the offense. Luke Kuechly was. That was a horrible thing. What happened with him? I don't like that move. But the Cam Newton move itself, I saw it coming, but I wish it would have been handled differently. So with Cam, I was talking to Nick, I think last week, saying I would have been fine with Cam playing this year. If he does good, great, franchise tag him for another year. If he does good that year, I would assign him to a 3-year deal. That's 2 years in a row he's performed well. I'm not talking MVP caliber, but I want to see the good Cam that we saw in 2017, I do believe, when he literally carried the offense with Brenton Burson, Devin Funchess, fucking Ray McLeod, I think was another receiver's name. I don't fucking know. And in 2015, he basically carried that offense as well. So if he doesn't, I would have let him play this year. If he doesn't do good this year, just let him walk. That's the end of his contract anyway. Let him walk. And, I mean, it would have been the same fucking outcome as what happened just now. He just walked. You asked for a trade. Nobody wanted to give you shit for him, and I saw that coming. Nobody's going to pay second-round pick, first-round pick shit for Cam Newton. So, honestly, you're in the same boat. I would have just let the fucking MVP, former MVP, play. Why not?
Well, my thing is, they're bringing in a new coach, new GM, the whole nine. They're really trying to clean house. I
Yeah.
think it's just purely business. I realize it's probably emotional since that's probably the greatest quarterback in the franchise's history, I would say.
Definitely.
Yes.
So, it's emotional, like John said, but I think it's a good business move. If you're gonna try to rebuild the franchise, you got to get rid of the quarterback. I don't like y'all said. I don't think Kuechly. No one wants to get rid of Kuechly. Okay, I think any team would have tried to pick him up if he didn't retire. If he was a free agent, that guy is world class, first round Hall of Famer. That one kind of sucked. But like y'all mentioned, like Greg Olsen wasn't that effective anymore.
No.
And I'll just be honest from my perspective, Cam is injury prone. He really is. That's what held him back the last few seasons. I think you go with Bridgewater, who's obviously also injury prone. Um, that's a good pickup, I think, on a rebuilding team. John mentioned that's probably not the go-to guy to get you back in championship form, but he can win some games for you guys the next few years while you allow the team to build up.
Okay.
So
And what I saw from Bridgewater last year, honestly, I think you could make the argument that he has more weapons around him than he did on the Saints. Because besides Michael Thomas and Kamara and Jared Cook, he's a good tight end. Their receiving core was terrible besides Michael Thomas last year.
that's true. They only had one receiver.
What are you
Yeah,
talking about? Yeah, Ted Ginn. No hands Ginn.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
um,
that's
Good
a
point.
good point.
and I think McCaffrey is like twice the running back Kamara is. I think he's
Yep.
the best running back in the league.
He is.
And we
Always.
just signed Robbie Anderson, so I think honestly,
Yeah.
Hunter, you don't like the Robbie Anderson move, do
What?
you?
I don't. I know.
Why
Continue
not?
what you were saying. Well, you know, when he's not suspended and he actually plays, he might be a good player on the field. But when he's suspended and he's making a fool of himself, there's no fucking point for him. He's wasting $20 million on their fucking. I guarantee you, he plays 8 games this season. The other 8, he'll probably get suspended for some
I
bullshit.
bet you in those 8 games, Hunter, he's going to get 100 yards receiving and a touchdown about every single game.
I don't mind the pickup because he has talent, and we need a number 2 receiver because Curtis Samuel, I'm sorry, he's not the number 2 outside guy. He's more of a
No.
slot kind of guy. Um,
Yeah.
but what I'm concerned on is I don't know what the Panthers are doing. I'm questionable on the coaching staff in general. Teddy Bridgewater to me isn't a solid quarterback. To me, he was put into a scheme that is built for success. He's throwing these dink dunk passes 2 yards down the field, and his receiver is making plays. I mean, he only threw the ball down the field maybe like 4 or 5 times in 6, 7 games to Michael Thomas, more than 10 yards down the field. He'll probably do the same thing here. It's a little check downs to McCaffrey. You're going to see the same type of offense, I'm pretty sure. McCaffrey, and that's it. The coaching staff in general, I'm not too sold on. But also, I don't think they're tanking. I don't think the Panthers are tanking. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're picking up Teddy Bridgewater. They're picking up P.J. Walker, who's a good, solid backup, and Robbie Anderson. To me, that's not tanking. I don't think it's a win now mode, but they're not going after draft picks. So I don't. John, what do you think they're doing?
I haven't. That's what I'm confused about is what they're doing right now because you know, the team is not bad enough to tank right now, like you said, and honestly, if the defense was heavily improved, which I don't know how much they can really improve it at this point. Hopefully we get Simmons. I think it's Simmons, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping we pick him up in the draft. If we had a very solid defense, I think we could be a playoff team. The NFC South is it's a lot tougher. It's going to be a lot tougher next year than it has been.
Yeah.
Atlanta just signing Gurley, which I don't even know really if that means much actually. But Tampa Bay, I would find it hard to believe that Tampa Bay is not going to go to the playoffs. You would just think they are with Brady being there, you know. So I have no idea really what is in store for next season at all. But one thing I do want to touch on with Cam, and Hunter, I want to hear your opinion on this. In his last few years there, it was so frustrating to just watch like a deep pass. And I swear to God, like it was to the point where if he threw it deep, I just like looked away. I was like, oh, okay. Because it would just sail 10 yards over someone's head. And I mean, it was getting so frustrating to see that. And that's the biggest reason I am happy we moved on from Cam because he was very inconsistent with his accuracy. Maybe one of the worst in the league as far as accuracy goes.
Yeah.
I don't. Oh yeah, you make a good point. I completely agree on that side. His accuracy was the biggest flaw to Cam to himself, and also the injury prone. I mean, the last 2 years he has been hurt. I mean, I knew 2 years ago when we started off. What was it?
6-2.
6-2.
Oh God, yeah.
He couldn't throw the ball more than 30 yards, and every single play that they designed and drew up was a play where he could not. He didn't have to throw the ball down the field. So that's why we just sucked. The defense fell apart. I mean, just like last year, they tried switching up to a 3-4 scheme. That fucking didn't work. So, but Cam in general, we forgot how good he was back in the 2015, 2017 season. And fucking even before that, I mean, shit. And I don't think he's lost it. He'll go to Atlanta, probably some fucking team that we don't think he's going to go to, especially on our division, kick our ass 2 times a year for the next 4 years, I'm sure. I like Cam. I like him as a person. I like him as a player. He's still MVP talent. And when he is on, and I'm not even kidding, when he is on his game, you can't fucking beat him. The problem is, get him on his fucking game. Which,
is that?
I mean, it is. Because he hasn't been on it, and plus he hasn't had the fucking offensive line his whole entire career in Carolina So no wonder he's getting dinged up. But I see the business side of things moving on from him, rebuilding. I get it. I just wish they would have given him one more year just to finish out his contract rather than just cut him early. Because who knows what would have happened? He could have fucking popped up and been the man, especially with the targets we got now. I mean, I don't know.
I was scared to death of him playing and just being hurt again in another season of Kyle Allen. Though I was so scared of that.
That's true. Yeah, Kyle Allen's not the ideal quarterback.
No.
You guys didn't like Kyle Allen? I thought for a young guy, he wasn't the worst out there. I mean,
No,
he
wasn't the worst. People were very hard on him for a backup that was just thrown into a starting situation like that.
Yeah.
People were really hard on him, but I mean, what did he go 5-7? That's
yeah.
After starting off 5-0.
Yeah.
And that's the defense didn't help him at all. In that category.
The team, it felt like the team gave up for sure last season. It was kind of clear to see.
Hopefully the Panthers. I don't know what they're trying to do. It's not a rebuilding season. It's not a tank season. I don't know what the fuck it is.
If you look 3 years from now. Of that division, the Panthers are probably better off than anyone else. They're a lot younger. Breeze won't be there in 3 years. Brady won't be there. Matt Ryan, I'm not, their offense is good, but the Falcons
Julio will be old.
Isn't all that. Yeah, Julio, he won't be able to burn people anymore. So in the future, near future, the Panthers should be back on the top of that division. They really should. Bridgewater or not, because I still think Bridgewater, he's pretty solid. I mean, he's a winning quarterback, and I think he's going to win y'all some games. I don't know if he'll make playoffs or win the division now, but he can still win games while you allow Rule and the GM to rebuild things.
I do have this to say, though. I did do some research, and the Panthers have like 12 players on dead cap space right now. So when they clear up next year, dear God in heaven. Marty Ernie's never been a big free agency guy, but damn, the Panthers are going to be loaded with
a lot of money
next year.
For the first time in forever, it seems.
Oh, yeah.
Like, has that ever happened?
No. It's going to be crazy. I think the Panthers have stuck around the last 20 years, like with, $10 million in cap space. Now I'm talking next year, they might have over 40 or 50. It's going to be insane.
This is a crazy theory.
It's crazy.
Have you heard about Deshaun Watson wants to leave Houston, most likely, which why wouldn't he after this season? The betting odds are that it'll be in New England, but the betting odds are kind of, I'm sure you would love that, Nick, but the betting odds are kind of awful sometimes. But if we have all that cap space, I would definitely be fine. I think any Panther fan would be fine with kicking Bridgewater to the curb and trying to sign Deshaun Watson.
That'd be a good one.
That would be amazing.
That'd be a good one. That'd be good. I would love that.
Huge.
That's the only thing on that offense now. So, sorry, they got David Johnson now. Oh,
yeah.
And there are 8 other running backs on the roster.
Yeah.